What's going on, guys? Fullst here, and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'll be doing an in-depth Shyvana jungle guide. Shyvana, especially AP Shyvana, is really fun and really strong right now. She, with the experience buff this patch as well, became even better. Her dragon control is absolutely insane, and since dragons right now are a very big objective, this champion's actually, like, top tier, I'd say, especially in the lower elos. The higher elos, you're gonna have to adapt your strategy a little bit more, which I'll get into in this video as well. But overall, I would highly recommend Shyvana. She's very fun, very strong, and she probably would get you a lot of elo, like, straight up. So yeah, with that being said, let's get right into the runes. Now, the rune page on Shyvana is pretty straightforward. You want to go Dark Harvest on her because of the fact that this synergizes really well with your E. And with the way the damage setup works for AP Shyvana. So just getting Dark Harvest for more procs on this will just exponentially increase the damage you do later game as well, which is really what you're looking for. So yeah, just get Dark Harvest, is the rune you want. Now for the next one, it's Taste of Blood. The reason it's Taste of Blood is because these other two don't really do anything for you. Usually the Taste of Blood is better because it kind of sustains you a little bit more. This like skills off of AP as well. It's a little bit of healing, it's a bit of a cooldown. The only other option you have is Sudden Impact, but this only really works on your ultimate once because you can ult and then get 6 magic pen for 5 seconds initially, so it could be an option, but Taste of Blood overall is a way more useful rune. It sustains you, it does a lot more for you in general, so I would just get Taste of Blood. Cheap shots, pretty much impossible to use on Shyvana unless you build like a Rylai's, which you could, but it's not ideal either. So Taste of Blood's the option here. Now for the next one, it's either Eyeball Collection or Zombie Ward. In the higher elos, Zombie Ward's really good on Shyvana, especially because she pretty much one-shots any ward. Your Q counts for 2 hits on a ward, so if you find a normal ward whilst you're trying to sweep, then you can just auto-attack Q that ward and it instantly dies, Zombie Ward kicks in, and then that way that would be really good. The only downside about Zombie Ward is in lower elos people don't place any wards or barely any wards, so the value from Zombie Ward goes from top tier to pretty much nothing really quickly. So I would advise lower elos, probably below like Diamond, I'd say get Eyeball Collection, and then the other ones get Zombie Ward, just because Shyvana clears the wards that quickly that's probably just going to be worth it regardless. Now for the last one, Relentless Hunter is your option. You want to get that extra move speed. This move speed allows you to get into position for better ease in teamfights, better positions with your dragon form, and then landing those crucial ease in teamfights, but also for the roam speed, which allows you to clear your jungle faster, really. Also get to place faster, but mainly to just get to the objective control at a decent pace as well. So it's kind of an all-in-all movement thing that you kind of need. Like, it's really good to just have more movement speed on Shyvana. You want to get across the map really fast, to clear your camps as fast as possible, and just do everything at good pace, so the enemy is not going to be able to react to it, and you're going to be able to scale the best way you can. Now, also this could be nice for counter gank situations after you're level 6 mainly, because pre-level 6 Shyvana's ganks don't really do anything. So when you have dragon form after 6, you can use this to pretty much sprint like through the rivers and all that to get to ganks to potentially pick up some kills. So this is the best option here. The rest don't really do anything for you necessarily. Now for secondary tree, also pretty straightforward. You want to get the Transcendence every single time. The reason you want Transcendence is because this gives you 10% CDR at level 10. And Shyvana's build with her jungle item and then the attack speed item, Nature's Tooth, that's the one, I forgot the name for a second there. That gives you 40% CDR total. And that's really all you need. You need to get that 40% cooldown reduction, because capping that CDR is very important to get your E on as low as a cooldown as it possibly can be. It will cap out to be lowest at 4.8 seconds. So every 4.8 seconds in teamfights, you'll be able to use your E, which chunks the enemy for a hefty amount. Now for the second rune, you have two options. You could go scaling in the form of Gathering Storm, which is nice, but overall I much prefer Nimbus Cloak, because Nimbus Cloak allows you to pick up those extra kills, mainly in the earlier stages of the game. Also, smiting something and then getting the extra move speed increase is very nice, because Shyvana really struggles a bit with sticking to people. So if you can smite somebody and slow them down, maybe make it easier to land your E and also speed yourself up at the same time to keep up with them. You will have this combined with your W, so you're instantly just going to be able to sprint through towards or away from somebody really, really quickly. So this is the one I would recommend, but this is a good secondary option if for some reason you do not like Nimbus Cloak. Because scaling is, yeah, it's good either way. Now for the runes here, you want to get attack speed because, well, this is just ideal for Shyvana's early clear. The way you clear a jungle early on Shyvana, or the way at least I do it, which I find to be the best strategy, is going for like a quick 3 single target camp clear. So you do double buffs with Gromp. This is going to hit you level 3 really quickly. And with the machete combination with this attack speed, it's just going to be able to clear your jungle that much quicker. That's really what you want. Now, adapt the force on this one, and then the armor or magic resist depending on the enemy jungler mainly, because you were going to probably face that jungler most. So if they have a AP champion, you pick magic resist. If not, you pick armor. And that's pretty much the runes. It's very straightforward, so yeah, not too much to be discussed. There's really no other viable strategy in the other runes. This is quite literally just it. So if you have questions on it, put those in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. And yeah, let's just get right into the item build now. Alright, so for the item build, we have the starting item Hunter's Machete with a refillable potion. This is the best one to get, mainly because what I just said as well. You want to get that red-blue Gromp clear as fast as possible. It's the most ideal way to clear with Shyvana, because this way you're going to be able to kind of secure yourself your early game. So you definitely want to get this one. A lot of Shyvanas might think that Hunter's Talisman is a better one. It is, but only for full clearing. So if you're full clearing, doing those AoE camps, then Hunter's Talisman is better. But you're usually trying to look towards doing that after your initial base, so you can like use this machete to get through your camps quickly. Maybe even get off a top lane gank, or like an invade on the enemy jungler if they show on the other side of the map and they leave stuff up. So that could be a strategy there. But if you're full clearing and strictly full clearing, then Hunter's Talisman is better. But usually when you try to start strictly full clearing, you're kind of locking yourself down too much. You're not going to be able to adapt that easily because you're not going to be fast enough, for example, to take the enemy's top side if they were to do like their bot side and then gank bot lane, for example. Because if they do that, you're not going to be able to clear through your jungle, hit level 3 fast enough. You're not going to be high enough HP to be able to do it. So Hunter's Machete is definitely the best one to go for. Now, after your initial base, you want to look towards getting your Stalker's Blade pretty much as fast as possible. This is a very, very solid item on Shyvana. It helps you with sticking to people. Also, is very nice in combination with your Dark Harvest for bursting champions down on low HP. So this is really the one you want to get. Also, the moment you get the Stalker's Blade, you're going to be able to clear your jungle really, really quick and effective, because you do have both Talisman now and the Machete. That's really what you want to look for. So after a quick clear at the start, you can then look towards full clearing more afterwards. Now, all you really need to do to the initial dragon is the Stalker's Blade as well, just a base one. You can even just do it with this, but usually you will have the base one by this time. So right here at 5 minutes, you want to look towards being at that dragon. If you happen to get a gank off or get more gold, that's good. Just build towards this Runic Echoes with whatever you can. Don't get the mana though initially. Try to get the Amp Tome or maybe even the Phoenix Codex if you're really that fat. You could even opt to go for a Dark Seal. It's a really good item on Shyvana because usually if you position yourself properly, you're not really going to die and you're going to get an easy amount of assist just hitting those E's. So stacking up a Magi's and getting a 10 stack on that for a 10% extra move speed boost is going to be very, very good as well. So if you have the money, you could look to get an Amp Tome towards building this faster, or you could even get the Stalker's Blade in combination with a Dark Seal, which I will put in here as well. Now, following this, you have your Sorks, really. That's the only boost you want to get. It's 18 Magic Pen. You have a lot of base damage. Magic Pen is key, so just get it, and you'll do a lot more damage with it. Also, getting this second item is pretty crucial because you want to run around the map as fast as possible. Again, to clear your camps as fast as possible and get to the objectives. Just the map rotations is really what you're looking for here. Now, following this up, it's a pretty straightforward like next item. This is always the one you want to get. It's Nashor's Tooth. Your entire like AP is based mostly around your E, but getting a Nashor's Tooth pretty much means that it's gonna shift towards your E and your auto attacks a lot. So you're gonna chunk people easily with like your Q. Your Natural Tooth gonna proc double on that as well. And then also it's gonna proc your E at the same time. This also gives you 20% CDR, which in combination with your jungle item and also Transcendence in your runes gives you capped CDR instantly. So that's 40% CDR, which puts your E at a 4.8 second cooldown. And that's really what you want. So this item is perfect for AP Shyvana. And just get it as fast as possible. Now the next item is one of two. You have two options on this one. Really, you have the Morello or you have the Liandry's. The situations you want to get them is really Morello is for those more healing heavy comps or like really squishy enemy comps. You can get Morello. Even in those situations, you can still get this. It's mostly based around the Grievous Wounds, this one. If the enemy doesn't really have that much healing, then Liandry's overall, it does more damage than Morello will. Morello does give you flat magic pants, so it might look like the initial chunk is more, but the overall burn from Liandry's does more in general. So it's a close one. They're all only like 100 gold apart as well. So also the items here, the Oblivion Orb is 1600 and the Hunting Guys is 1500, so they're pretty close as well. The other plus side about Liandry's is the fact that the passive from this, the Madness passive, you get 2% more damage for each second you're in combat with champions. You're easily going to be able to stay in combat with your E. So your E is going to do 10% more damage basically at max value. So that's also a very, very good thing there. This is just really nice. And also then if the enemies are slowed or anything like that, especially in combination with your Blue Smite, you're going to chunk them even harder with the HP burn. So usually I'll pick up a Liandry since this is the highest damage output you can get. Also, this is very good for like Dragons / Barons, objective control wise for more burn damage. But I will get a Morello over this, really, if I have to like counteract a lot of healing. Mostly what I consider a lot of healing is like at least 2 champions in the form of Soraka, Vladimir, Kayn, Jesus, like anything health healing based. If they have like 2 or more of those types of champions that are really high healing based, then get a Morello. Yeah, now following this up, you want to just get a lot of ability power. You want to just be able to chunk people even harder. Now, one option you could do is the Liandry's Rylai's combo. If the enemy is very, very mobile, this is an option you could have to go for like set up like this. You go for 3 items here, and then you can go Rylai's Liandry's Void Staff. This is very much focused around burn damage at this point, so it's going to be more geared towards higher HP or tankier enemy teams. Because if you go the burst route, you're gonna chunk only the squishies, but the tanks, like the really heavy tanks, will be able to take it quite effectively. It's still not ideal for them, of course, since it's still gonna do a good amount of damage to them. But this setup with Rylai's against, for example, Ornthop with Zac jungle, let's say, it's gonna do a much more damage than just getting like straight up death cap would be. So that's something to keep in mind in that case. If this is not the case, you definitely do not want to be getting a Rylai's, because it's not going to help you that much. It's not going to increase your damage as much as a death cap would. And this build setup right here, as a 6 item setup, is going to be very, very good. Now, in games you're doing well, upgrading this into a Magi's, it's very valuable. Like, you can get a lot of value out of this. It's a pretty cheap item, and the extra move speed you get from this is going to be very, very nice to be able to catch people and stick with them or run away faster or whatever. This snowballs really hard. So if you can get this stacked up, especially like early game, if you can get it stacked up to 10 stacks, you can pretty much walk around the map with permanent 10% extra move speed. And just that alone is crazy, and then this also gives a lot of AP. So if, let's say, you were to have like this, you build a Natural because you want to get that, you can get a Magi's right after maybe, and then into a Liandry's. This point you're already going to be very, very strong, but now if you follow this up with, for example, a death cap, your AP amount is going to go through the roof. And if you're snowballing this hard, this is pretty much going to mean straight up game. Also, if they stack Magic Resist, this combination with Magi's will still give you a lot of AP. So you're still going to be able to chunk them really, really hard. So the combination of Magi's, if you're doing well, is a very good thing to consider. That's also why I usually tend to pick up a Dark Seal in the earlier stages of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much the build setup there. You want to get the Void Staff for those situations where they have a lot of AP, or not, sorry, AP Magic Resist. And in other tanky situations, you want to get the Rylai's Leanderis combo. Otherwise, get like the Leanderis Death Cap combo, or even against high healing, you can get the Morello Death Cap combo as well. This is just for massive AP value, and yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have questions on this build, make sure to put those in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those questions for you. And yeah, let's just get right into the gameplay section now. Okay, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I am playing Shyvana, of course, into an Echo, which honestly is a pretty good matchup for Shyvana, since Echo doesn't really invade early. He needs to clear his own camp, so you have some like pretty easy free time to to do your stuff. Now, because of that, also I'm gonna go for a quick clear on Shyvana, which is what I usually do. The reason I do this is because you can full clear on Shyvana, and it's pretty decent. The only thing with it is you're risking invades, but also if the enemy jungler were to, for example, go for a bot lane gank or maybe a top lane gank or something and leaves camps up, you can easily sneak those camps by hitting a quick level 3. Because you doing your full clear gets you really, really low. It's at a decent pace, but usually I prefer to just go for a quick clear to maybe gank a lane. Most likely not the case, but Shyvana clears a lot easier if you have both your jungle items. The healing and then the damage on hit. So that's really what I'm doing. That's usually the best way to go for this. Now, of course, you can full clear if this is like, if there's really nothing to do, but then I would usually swipe it down from, let's say starting this side. I would do like blue into Gromp into red buff for a quick level 3. This with the Hunter's Machete makes it like really quick and easy. I'll skip wolves and I just do this. Now this hits me level 3 really quick and really easy. This kind of prevents me from getting invaded for like one of my buff camps, because it's pretty difficult for the enemy to actually outspeed this and do something about it. Like what they could do is maybe start blue and then instantly run to my red, but by that time they might not have even finished, depending on what champion they're playing, just because you're that fast. The way to do this is going Hunter's Machete into the and starting your E and then into your Q, because that way you get the most damage on single target camps, and that's really what you're looking for. This is a purely single target camp focused build. Now I saw the Aurelia place the ward down, so I'm going to quickly clear that. Maybe look for some potential pressure on this guy early on. Now, because I see the Echo here, and this is also why like this clear is really effective. Because he might think, alright, she's just gonna full clear, I will be safe. But because I cleared this way and I see him bot side, this pretty much means he instantly gave up his entire top side to me, which is really, really ideal. So that's really what you're trying to look for. This is why I also do this, because a lot of junglers lately have been going for, let's say, their bot side clear into ganking bot lane, or just starting red buff if they're on the other side of the map and rushing to bot lane. So they will leave camps up and you can easily just sneak those pretty much for free and then get yours after. Now, also another thing with this clear is I just took 2 of these camps, which are worth quite a lot of experience. I will get the scuttle pressure on this one, but now if I were to reset, I could go clear top down with my other jungle item as well, and that would pretty much make dragon spawn at about the same time, depending on how fast I do it, and then you can instantly go into a dragon that way. So that's a very easy clear path, because this way you'll set yourself up for pretty much doing a dragon on spawn if you do it properly, and also getting enough, like not getting invaded, so you don't get abused early game, which is Shyvana's weakest point. The moment you start hitting mid game and then towards the later stages, Shyvana starts becoming a real nuisance for enemies to deal with. So this is a way to jungle to make sure that you actually get your camps done, you don't get invaded, and yeah. So, I do scuttle here, then I look towards resetting. I initially saw the Pyke at pretty low HP here, so I can actually just look for a gank here. It's a Darius. I'm kind of just waiting for the Pyke to either walk maybe to ward, or for the Darius to get a hook off, which shouldn't be that difficult. It's literally just waiting for Pyke to get in close enough to farm, and then right here we get a kill, which is really, really ideal. Like, getting a kill like this on Shyvana is really good. Now, this means Darius also wants me to push his wave, so now my plans kind of have to change. Now, initially, as you know, as I just mentioned, you want to go for the clear that I usually do it on this side of the map, and usually on the other side of the map as well. You want to clear towards the dragon, so that you get there when it spawns at 5 minutes. So I just did Gromp, blue, Gromp, red. Took his top side because, well, I kind of had time. If the enemy top is pushing in, you can also look for a gank early on, which is not bad at all because you do have red buff. And if the enemy or your top laner has some CC or like a hook or something, like Darius, for example, then getting the kill there isn't really that far off. You can get a kill quite easily, and then you can soak some experience from top lane. Now, usually, I would, if this was a normal back, I would clear from top down, but because you can see right now, the time is 4:42. Dragon's about to spawn soon, I definitely want to get to bot lane, so I'm just going to leave my topside camps up for now. It's not even worth that much experience, as I haven't cleared them yet, so they're still base value. So yeah, I'm just going to look for Dragon now. I see something happen in bot lane whilst I was running for the Dragon, so, I mean, obviously you're going to respond to this. This is a pretty good situation for me, so I'm just going to go here. Smite him, blue smite him, get closer. The Nimbus Cloak situation with this is really nice as well. It helps you get a lot more kills in the early game especially. And I mean, at this point, it's just a free dragon. There's really not much they can do. Also, one thing to note, as you just saw me do, I bought this on my back. I mean, usually you just only get your Stalker's Blade and maybe a pink on your initial back, which is fine. Maybe not even that, but usually you definitely do want to get the pink and then just get the Hunter's Talisman as well, because this way you'll have a pink for the dragon that will spawn in 5 minutes. Now in this case I know that the Echo is not going to be able to do anything about it because we just killed him bot lane, so that's ideal. But usually if you just have the pink, you'll be able to know, place it in the pit and instantly do it on spawn. People usually won't expect this to be like done that quickly, so you can get away with mostly the free dragon. You have a lot of dragon damage on Shyvana, so you definitely want to make sure you use this. Like, you can see me chunk this down really quickly. And all I really have is my jungle item upgraded a little bit, and then an amplifying tome. So, even with the amp tome, that would be really quick still. Also, something that I want to mention, the maxing order for Shyvana is E first, W second, Q last. You don't really need your Q for anything, and W is a really nice thing to have for mobility. So that's really why you want to do that. Now right here, I definitely want to get to clearing my camps because I need to put them on cooldown. Make sure that the camps are worth a lot of experience again. And yeah. Ooh, look at that fancy kill. Wait, where? Yeah, okay, so we see Echo on bot side. I'm like, okay, top scuttle is up. I cleared this camp, so I can easily look towards going for top scuttle. Top both kill each other, and the Echo is really not going to be able to contest this right now because I'm going to clear it too quickly. Now we see if, like, I see a fight going on mid lane. This guy gets pretty low. This wasn't in range, so I was like, I might as well walk up. Maybe I can get like a kill or an assist, and I just decided to smite it. I mean, getting a kill on AP Shyvana really isn't that bad since you do scale pretty hard and are able to win team fights by yourself really easily with your W. Or not your W, your E, sorry. It might seem a little bit toxic to just walk into the lane to gank to just smite your target, but hey, do what you can to get those kills, man. You have to. The more you can help your early game, the better it's gonna get for you. I get this. I'm checking his top side to see if anything is up at all. Nothing seems to be up, so I'm just gonna maybe look for a gank. Also, don't think this gank's gonna happen, so all I gotta do now is just clear my camps again. Make sure I put this on cooldown. It was still the level 1 Krugs. And now, as soon as the Rift Herald spawns, you want to get that as well. With Shyvana, it's very important to keep note of these objective spawns. The dragon, as you saw, I was running there on spawn. Rift Herald as well. It's pretty much spawned, and I'm just going to run there straight away to make sure that I do this, because I want to make sure that I kind of make up for a lack of being able to gank early on, since Shyvana's ganks are pretty terrible early game, so you definitely want to make sure you get like a compensation with that for doing the dragon and the Rift Herald. Now the Rift Herald can be used as well. Now we saw Echo bot lane again, so he kind of just gave up his top side again, so I was like, alright, might as well take it. Definitely don't want to waste that. Now this is a way to dive and or gank with Shyvana. You don't necessarily want to go in face first most of the time. It's better if you have your ult up to just play like this. So I ult in initially to make sure that I am behind him. Darius has the position right here. Pyke really has nowhere to go. He has to fight the Darius or run back towards me. So as you can see right here, I'm just going to walk up, throw an E, walk back out, and just make sure that the Pyke has nowhere to go. Because if I stand here, he cannot walk through me. And yeah, this is basically keeping Pyke in between me and Darius. Now one thing I should have done here in the first place was place the Herald. because then the Herald would have pressured the turret down and Pyke would have had nowhere to go. I didn't do that. I was too focused on zoning him, I suppose. If I were to just ult in and then actually put the Herald down, the Herald would have killed this turret by this time, and that would have been a lot cleaner. So that's something to remember. If you do the Herald in like 8 minutes, when it spawns pretty much, you can easily, if your top laner has pressure, dive the top laner by just placing the Herald, especially if the turret's already a little bit low. Just place the Herald and then do the same thing I did. Just ult behind them and use your E to poke them down whilst they're under the turret, and you keep standing here so they can't walk past you. It's really what you want to do. Now here I place the Herald. It's a little bit late, but we're still going to get first turret with it, so it should be fine. Right there, I have 2700 gold. Dragon's gonna spawn soon again, so you see me instantly just going towards the dragon again. This is a very important thing about Shyvana. You definitely want to keep that dragon pressure up. So I'm looking towards going for the bot side, clearing my camps again here where I can. I definitely do not want to walk towards the top side right now. If I walk towards this and clear all the way down, I'm going to be late to Drake, so that's really not ideal. So definitely want to look towards getting to that dragon as fast as you can. Now, right now I'm just looking to get my ultimate up, so I have my ultimate and I can just look for things. You saw the Alistar, he flashes my E in that situation, which is a little bit annoying, but there's not much you can do. I'm just gonna go and opt for the Drake here. Now, the only downside here is I don't have smite, so I'm kind of just banking a little bit on me being able to burst it with my increased dragon damage and also my E. So I am kind of in a little bit of a sticky situation. Now luckily, Echo misses his smite as well. Darius still picks up the Drake, which is more lucky than anything else. Pyke does kill me here for a shutdown, so that's a bit of unfortunate. But yeah, usually when Dragon's up, always try to keep your smite. I didn't have a smite ready for this one. It's a big mistake, especially on Shyvana. Those dragons mean a lot. They're worth more than even like a kill, even 2 kills because of your passive. Like, it's just so good. Like, it's a massive objective. You need to keep your smite for it. And that was a really big mistake I made there by not having it. So I took a risk in that situation and it paid off because we still got it. Echo missed his smite, but it is not ideal and it's definitely something to keep in mind that you want to keep your smite for a dragon when it's spawning. At this point, I'm pretty strong. I have my increased CDR. Usually, building this, you will have a lot of extra cooldown reduction at this point. You have the Transcendence, which gives you 10%, and this gives you 10% as well. And then also your jungle item gives you 10%. So this is a 30% straight up. And then if you take blue buff at this point, you're going to have 40%. And this cooldown reduction is like crucial on Shyvana because you want to get your E cooldown as fast as you possibly can. Now this right here is a perfect example of a mistake that you guys shouldn't make. I don't have my dragon form right now, so this is already not ideal for me to take this fight. And I want to really show you why you should just not take these fights. Now, I took my E, another mistake I made in this situation. I used my E from range, and this can be okay, but it's risky. Like, at the moment I miss it, I am just not going to be able to go for the fight anymore. I still did it in this situation, though, so definitely don't do this. Exactly this play. So I throw it, she sidesteps it, which is good. Now at this point I should have backed off because I missed my E. I don't have my dragon form, so there's really nothing for me to be doing right now. And trying to fight this guy, I might win it when my next E comes up, but at that point I might as well have just not taken the damage in the first place, because at the moment E is my main source of damage. I don't have dragon form, and as you can see, I really tickle this already. I don't do much at all. Alistar shows up, I get stunned, I get knocked up, ignited, and I pretty much die for free. So definitely avoid that. You don't want to walk into a melee range like that, especially if you miss your E. If you hit it, then you're still going to be able to chunk them pretty heavily. But missing it just means that you don't want to take the fight. And just that's a very important thing to remember. Don't take the fight if you miss your E. Also, getting in closer makes hitting your E a little bit easier. If you're not in dragon form, of course, because hitting your E in dragon form is like a joke. So, yeah, that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. Learn from that mistake. Just stay on range as much as possible. I still get the Aurelia, I still get the assist on that as well, which is pretty good for me. That means I just get more stacks on my Relentless Hunter. Now, at this point, I'm just going to look towards clearing some of my camps. My team decides to dive, which, I mean, there's not much I can do. At this moment, I don't have a dragon form. As I just mentioned, going somewhere without your dragon form really isn't ideal, so you would definitely want to look towards farming more if it's down. You can do something, but it's really not much with the E if it's not dragon form. I just Dragon Form out. I was stuck in a little bit of a difficult position there. I hit 1E on Pike, which does a lot of damage to him, as you can see. Actually, I can just put it to all vision and you will be able to see how much damage this does. This is what, like, pretty much this moment in time in the game when you hit, like, your jungle diamond and a little bit of and your Sorks, then you're gonna just start chunking people, as you can see. Pike loses like half his HP to 1E, which is really, really big. And right now I'm just in my Dragon Form clearing the wave, just making sure that they can't pressure mid in. My Fizz is topside, so I definitely don't want him to push it. Now, right now my main objective is to get my Dragon Form back again, so I'm instantly just gonna start hitting camps as much as possible. You can see I'm already halfway through it, and yeah. Now we see the Jhin here. He's behind the enemy right now. They haven't spotted him. So right now, this is just a really good situation for us. Now, this is where I actually play it properly. I wait on range, try to hit my E, and as soon as I hit it, I start walking up and start going for it. Now, she gets low. I smite her, get the Dark Harvest proc and the smite, and she dies pretty much execute style. And there again, that was a lot better because this time I actually ran in, hitting my E instead of missing it. Because that just makes such a big damage difference, Chick. You cannot even compare that. Right, let's go back to red side. My perspective. I almost have my Dragon Form back again. I could look for some poke on the laners in this situation. I'm just gonna make sure I hit some minions to get the Dragon Form in this case. And at this point, Rift Herald spawned again, so really ideally you just want to go and look for the Rift Herald in this case. Objectives are really easy to take on Shyvana because of your E and just your like straight up damage increase on dragons. Rift Herald right there. Get the base in. At this point I do have quite a bit of gold, but I need 1800 gold for my item, for my next item. So I cleared one more camp before I based, and as you can see, dragons spawning soon, so I'm instantly rushing there again. I have control wards in my inventory. This is a very important thing. Always want to have those control wards on you when you're starting to do dragon. I do have my smite up as well, which is another key factor here. And now we see this fight going on right now. So instantly what I do is I just walk here. I had a feeling this fight was going to go on anyway. The dragon's going to spawn soon. Usually I run straight there, but because as you can see I am like 1 experience from level 11, I decided to quickly go and do this camp so I can hit level 11, which is going to be a big damage increase for the next fight. So we see the fight pop off here. They get kind of caught by the Echo and the Casio. Now, this is kind of the moment where AP Shyvana is completely stupid. And yeah, like right here, I land 1E, Casio instantly half HP'd. Auto attack, Q instantly dead. Like there's nothing she could have done. Now at this point, I just need to land 1E. He dodges it. I was expecting him to kind of like run that way or maybe E that way, but he dodged that one pretty nicely. There's really nowhere for him to go though, because my next E is going to be up really soon. It's like a 4-second cooldown? 4.8 second cooldown, so at this point, you know. Look at that damage, man. That's just completely stupid. Like, this champion is going to get you a lot of freelo if you just play it properly. Like, look at that. 1E is 3/4 of Pike's HP bar. At this point, Pike cannot go back in, because at the moment he goes back in, I pretty much just one-shot him. And he waits. I get a heal from Jhin, which is very nice. I also would have died. And now Dragon is up again. So we've just played around the Dragon, fought towards the Dragon, and I placed the Rift Herald down just because we just killed them, and Jhin can just push the turret with that. We go, a lot of damage, another Drake, and I'm just going to look towards clearing some of my camps. Alright, pick up the next item. And I'm mainly just going to look towards getting more of my camps. You need to make sure that on Shyvana you keep clearing. Especially if your Dragon Form's down, you definitely want to clear at that point, because you need to get it back as soon as possible. AP Shyvana is very based around her Dragon, so you definitely need to get that. I instantly ult out. This is also something, don't be afraid to use your ultimate. Like, it's definitely worth just using it randomly. If you think it's necessary to either dash out or maybe dash in, or maybe even just poking once. Because getting it back is really easy. You just have to hit, like, do like 2 or 3 camps, and you're gonna have your Dragon Form back already. So it's really good to just use it whenever you can. Right there, I just use it to get out. Don't try to hold on to it. If you think it's worth using, it's probably worth using. So that's something you definitely need to keep in mind. Don't try to be that guy that just needs to, like, hold his ultimate for the next team fight or anything like that. That's really not what you're looking for. Now, as soon as you're in your dragon form, you're always looking to pretty much cast your E on cooldown to either zone or just hit somebody with it. So that's something to keep in mind. You definitely don't want to be in dragon form and then not use your E or not use, like, go forward for pressure. I go forward a little bit too far here. I did get hooked in, which is a bit unfortunate. I was not able to click this lantern in this situation. I was trying, definitely, but I couldn't click it. So I died there, which is a bit unfortunate. Our team overextends a little bit, gets killed, which, I mean, happens. Solo queue after all. Do end up losing the fight, so we kind of threw quite a bit of gold back into the enemy team at this point, which wasn't ideal, but because I'm a pretty fat AP Shyvana, 154 CS, by just keeping my rotations going, it's probably the most important thing about Shyvana. Also, punishing the enemy if they gank. You need to punish, as you saw me do this game. You have to go into the tops, into their jungle and actually take camps. It's very ideal if you can to like leave one minion in every camp as soon as you counter jungle them, because there is no comeback experience, so you can easily abuse that and put them even further behind. And we can easily look for a Baron here. Shyvana has a lot of objective damage, Baron damage as well, so it's pretty easy to burn this down. As you can see, this Baron dies pretty quickly. Right here, I'm nearly at my form again. I'm kind of just auto-attacking whatever I can to maybe get it if that fight was going on. It wasn't like there yet, but potentially. Right here, we see the Alistar, so I instantly just ult. I always try to ult in a position where I can like not be in their face, because usually going melee range isn't ideal. Just be in a position where you can actually hit your E from a good distance. So right here, going back. Oops, that's a little bit too far back, I think. Okay, we get the Baron here. So the way I ult, right here, I see this going on. The way I ult is, I could have ulted maybe here, but the moment I ult in this direction, I'm gonna be able to be collapsed on. So that's really not what I'm looking for. I'm looking to stay more towards the back line and try to hit them with as many E's as possible. So I ult in this direction right here. So if they try to, or want to keep chasing the Thresh, they would have to go towards me. Now, right here as well, my E is a pretty big range, so it's still going to be able to hit in this brush or this situation. So as you can see right there, I ult that direction, land my E. This pretty much burns Alistar down for most of his HP. And since I do have red buff, he's pretty much guaranteed to die here. Now another E hits the Echo there, which chunks him for like half his HP right there. He pretty much is forced to ultimate straight off this. He ults, and then my E is going to be back up in 2 seconds, so at this point he's just going to die again. I thought again he was going up, but he actually went back to Fist to try to get the kill, so missed it on that point. Did get him with an auto attack though. Now next big objective again is a Drake, so I'm instantly resetting for that, buying my items to make sure that I run towards that dragon as fast as possible. Again, keeping note that I do have those control wards. Those control wards are very important, especially if you're going for those dragons / objective control. Like, objective control is the highest priority you can have as a Shyvana in a game. Ganking is nice, but you're really not a ganking champion. You're more of a objective control farming champion. You can gank here and there. You're mostly useful only when you have your ultimate, so if that's not up, then it's not even worth ganking in most cases. Looking to pressure in. Now at this point I'm very strong. I kept up my farming, so I'm level 14 right now. This jungle experience buff this patch is really good. Like, you really notice it being just like a level or 2 higher than you usually would have been. And right now I have dragon form up, so pretty much at this point the fight's gonna go down, and this is where you can like see Shyvana shine. This is her strongest point in the game pretty much right now. So again, I ult in a position where I'm gonna be in range to hit something with an E, but still in a safe spot so I don't get fully collapsed on, because I don't really have anything defensive at the moment. I don't have Zonias. So if they were to decide to fully dive me, I'd be in a pretty vulnerable spot. Now as you can see, I land the E on the Cassia, which chunks it for half for HP. My E is going to be back up in 4.8 seconds, so I'm instantly just pressing this forward with my W speed up as well. So I definitely want to look towards being in a position right now to land my E, but also not be close enough to where they can actually engage on me. So carefully look at the positioning I have right now. I'm just looking for a position where I'm standing far enough back, but yet like close enough to land my E. Right here I landed on Aurelia. She gets chunked for like half her HP by my E and also the Lucian auto attack. And now I just have to walk up again. Like as you can see right here, just walking straight up. Making sure that I'm still in a safe position so I don't get hit by anything. Walk back a little bit again. And then right now my E is back off cooldown, I believe. And we go for another poke. And as you can see, my E completely destroys like the enemy's backline. This is just what Shyvana does really. And then this really makes sure that they can do anything anymore. Because Casio cannot walk up. Pike dies. Or sorry, Echo dies, I think. Whoever that was that just died there. Did it die? Oh no, he went invisible, my bad. So, like, they were not being able to do anything anymore. That's the way you want to position is that way. Because if you position too far forward, you're going to get focused down. But if you position too far backwards, then you're not going to be able to get those crucial E's off on the back line, which is going to, like, allow you to easily win team fights. So, it's kind of a sweet spot, a medium that you have to look for. You might have to get used to it a little bit in the like earlier stages of Shyvana, get like a feel for your E range and all that. Your E hitbox is insane. It's so big that it's quite easy to land. It's quite like hefty. Also, always throw your E as far back as possible, even if like it goes behind the enemy, because they have to walk through it still if they want to run away from you. Now, of course, if they don't run away from you and actually try to fight you, usually you'll kind of pick up on those situations when they actually try to fight you. You want to throw it more on top of yourself, because then they would have to fight you in your fire, and that's going to chunk them even more. So that's really key when it comes to team fighting, and definitely something you want to take note of. At this point, it's kind of just like ending the game, and that's your like standard like AP Shyvana game. Now this game did go pretty well because Echo made a few mistakes with like leaving his jungle camps up. If that wasn't the case, I would have to go for a bit more of a farm heavy strategy. Still, the early clear is very important. Doing it this way, the way I did it with just doing 3 camps to hit level 3, is going to allow you to either look for a gank or be in a much better position to maybe fight or defend your own jungle. And full clearing on Shyvana really isn't that ideal. So this is very, very important. Keep that in mind. And yeah, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button below. Subscribe for more. And also, guide suggestions, leave them below. I will look at them. I will definitely consider them to be the next guide. And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye!